I'm not too sure that I've formed any long-time friendships. Every now and then I'll have like, I don't know, I think I've probably added about 10 people since I started playing the game. But every now and then I'll hop on and someone will pop into a world with me and be like, "Hey, Sin," or "Hey, Walker," or something, and I'll be like, "Who is this person?" Like, I know the voice, but I have to put two and two together, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're that guy from like 2019 that I saw for 10 minutes." Somehow I'll remember, but I'm surprised they remember me. But I haven't formed anything too long-lasting.
Some of the best times, this is true, and I'm going to say this, some of the best experiences I've ever had in my life happened in VR. And I know that sounds retarded, like, but it's a fact.
How to make friends. Yeah, I've been here for some good time. So, well, pretty much just be stupid.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
that's the gist of it. Be dumb. That like people love dumb people.
In terms of meeting people on VRChat, it can be hard because a lot of people, like, I think being in the right lobbies is also an important thing, right? So, like, for example, in this world, I actually find a lot of good conversation a lot of the time. Like, even this right now, right? This is a good conversation for VRChat standards. Like, when you're talking about, like, you go onto certain worlds, you'll have a 2-word conversation and someone will make some kind of shitty joke and then run away, type thing. So, when you're talking about any conversation that lasts between people is good. And I think if you find a world that you can have good conversations, and also world sizes is very important. Keep the idea of having like join worlds with 8 to 10 people, and I think you'll be a lot more likely to find a good person with good conversation, as opposed to joining a world with 15 people where half the people are absolutely just trolling and the other half are tuned out because they're just in a room with a bunch of people running about or something. I think it's very important to find the correct environment to make friends, I guess.
First of all, don't go to like the Black Cat or something. Like, I mean, there are like a lot of people there, and you have a chance to meet one. But for every like one good person, there are like 100 bad people. Go more likely in like small worlds with like less people in it. Sometimes the people are just like monkeys or just random strangers on the internet looking at you strangely. But sometimes there's also like actually real people that can talk, like, have legs. Then you make friends, all right?
Have legs. We'll look after the people who have legs.
That's a recommendation.
What's your YouTube name? So you can probably like cut this out a little bit too. Go subscribe to Humans in VR. Okay.
I've got friends that I've been friends with for over a year. I took a break for months from VR chat. I come back and I still have those few friends who were still friends all throughout. And in order to make friends and meet friends, I'm someone who has severe social anxiety, and going into VR chat, I'm still very shy sometimes, but it's something that it takes away that you're being looked at feeling, because it's not, your physical body being looked at. It's not your face being looked at. And it's a bit easier to approach people and get to know them. You can't trust everything you hear from everyone, but you can just talk to people and slowly form friendships, and whether or not the friendship sticks is totally between the two people and their chemistry.
I think I picked up this game with a friend and my ex-girlfriend back in 2018 when the Knuckles thing started up, and we just wanted to see what it was all about. It got to be part of that because it was, it was just goofy and everyone was it was stupid, but it was something going on. It was something that was gaining traction. So we jumped on here. We went to like some McDonald's world and there were a bunch of Knuckles running around, and we're like, okay, this is silly, but I took a good break from it. And then recently, I'd say about a year ago, probably October-ish, I picked up a Vive Cosmos and decided to hop back on here periodically. And it's been fun. It's mostly like kind of a nighttime thing. If there's nothing going on, I'll hop on, maybe a drinking world.
That's it. We live in a day and age where, it's hard to have social life. Putting this toaster on your face with a literally an LCD screen in it is really satisfying, because you can fulfill all them needs that, trust me, you can go out in the real world and you can try to socialize with people and it's real hard. Whereas in here, it's a lot goddamn easier.
I don't know about the majority or anything like that, but I think in terms of society, if you look at society's percentage of depressed, autistic, let's say mentally disabled, kind of for like umbrella term, if you're looking at that, I think VRChat will have an astronomically higher percentage than the average kind of the average population, basically. I'd say around 30% of the players in this game probably have some form of depression or something like that. Even if you can't notice it at first, I think it's very common in here. And like that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? You can meet people who have issues with social anxiety and things like this who are very cool, and you can hang out with them for literally hours. But at the same time, you know, that's still an issue that they're trying to overcome, and it's an issue that VRChat, in their mind, at least helps them. Now, whether or not VRChat can be used as a help aid for that, I don't know.
May I speak on that topic because it feels very apparent to me?
You know what? You could relate the most because we were just talking about this before, eh? No, you go. I was sorry to interrupt you too.
I'm pretty new to VRChat, and I don't seek to find a lot of friends in real life because I'm okay by myself. In VRChat, I'm also not really looking for friends, but you bump into people, I guess, like in real life, that just share your way of thinking, and you just agree with each other and have fun. Just be yourself, and you will find people that are also like you. And VRChat is, in general, I think, has a big portion of people that have trouble finding friends in real life, maybe. And that's why they try another reality, which is virtual, which is no problem at all. And so those people which are left out, usually not all of them, but a lot of them accumulate in one little space. And if you go, you find so many rooms. If you like anime, you can type in anime in the word search, and you will find a lot of anime lovers. Or you type in furry, or you type in whatever you like, and you might always at least find a room with some people that share your sentiment.
I think in the next decade and a half, we'll see kind of, I don't want to say like towards a dystopian level of, I feel like people are kind of getting like cut off from reality a little bit, not to sound like a, boomer or anything, but I feel like there is kind of this disconnect happening now where kids aren't really socializing as much as they could have been, and it's sort of leading to stuff like this, which I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I feel like, socialize how you want to socialize, but understand that there is the virtual world, there is the real world. Learn how to make healthy, long-lasting relationships with the right kind of people, and don't depend on people just because they're the person in front of you.
Yeah, 100%. You have to be in the right places. There's a lot of dicks on here, but there's a lot of the best people you'll ever meet. People that are here to genuinely make human connection. That's why we're all here. We ain't here to play first-person shooter. We ain't here to fly planes. We're here to communicate and spend time with each other. And you have two types of people. You've got that guy that comes onto VRChat that isn't here to make connection with anybody at all, and he just wants to be an asshole to everybody. Then you have that guy that's on here to genuinely make friendship with people because maybe he's missing something in his real life. Maybe there's something going on, blah, blah, blah. And it works for a lot of people.
So I think with the Quest kind of debate, I guess, I don't really have an issue with Quest Worlds at all. Like, for me, they're just better optimized. I'd prefer to be in Quest Worlds 24/7 if I could. But really, I think it's about the Quest people more than anything. People don't want to be in Quest Worlds because of the Quest people. And that's not all Quest users, right? Like, I've got some friends that are really good Quest users, and they'll have a good conversation. And some of the best players in this game are Quest users. Most of them are down to earth. You're more likely to find, like, a regular guy rather than, like, I don't know how to put this, but, like, the demographic of VRChat is very, like, kind of swayed in the depressed side. Let's put it that way. You're more likely to find some regular people who are just down to earth, cool guys. But you'll also be much more likely to find, like, a screaming kid on a Quest world than you will be on a PC world, even if they're still pretty common on PC worlds.
I don't know. I'd say, like, my experience with it when I first got into VRChat 3.5 years ago, it's kind of daunting at first because there's like an overload, of course, with like getting into anything new. It's just kind of going to be that feeling. Wait, hold on. I gotta let my cat in my room, sorry.
I think like in terms of like virtual inhabitable space like this, I feel like this is just, no one can tell the future what's going forward, if this is going to become like the norm for like socializing in virtual reality in games or anything like that. Like I was a kid on Roblox back in 2007 and I made long-term connections through that. And I'm still best friends with some kids I met on Roblox back in 2007, 2008. And, they have kids, families, businesses now, and it's weird to see. So people can meet someone on here that they either go off to be lifelong friends with, they end up dating, they end up marrying. Like, I've heard of a lot of people getting married through games like this.
Like 100%, if you go on a VR chat and you just click join world in the first world you join into, like you got to look down through the scanner on the bar, see how many people's in that specific world and judge what kind of world you're going into, and from there it's good. But if you're just joining worlds randomly, you got to make friends in this. Join friends worlds, keep doing that and repeat. You'll make other friends through them, other friends. You got to be strategic about what you're doing on it. And I know that sounds stupid, but that really is the key to VR chat.
It won't ever happen immediately, but you want to find people that are on at a similar time to you, because quite often, like a lot of people on my friends list, they are never on when I'm on, because they're all like American. They're on at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I'm not on. And then it's like they'll come on once and I'll meet them, and then they'll never come on again during when I'm on. I think also it's useful to add people on Discord. You can always tell when they're online. You can tell especially if they've got like servers, like friend groups often have servers. If you can get into those, then you've got like a direct line to be like, hey, they're hanging out right now. I can tell. I'll hop in. I think just it's kind of like real life friendships, right? You just got to be there at the right time, find people you like, and then if you hang out with them, if you make the effort, then normally that ends in something good happening. You just got to be lucky somewhat. I've got a Valve Index, the headset, and I joined a lot of people through Discord when I first got it, and I joined a lot of the Valve Index events on the Valve Index Discord, and that led me to meet a bunch of people that now just play VR chat like every weekend, and I hang out with them and stuff. That wasn't really meeting them in VR chat, but they're good friends of mine. And then also, like, I've got friends from like 2017 that I still hang out with occasionally. I met like a friend group back then, and it's we used to hang out every day. It was crazy. But yeah, I think naturally friendships like fade away over time, especially in VR chat, just because even though they last for years, like I knew those people from 2017 to like late 2018 probably really well. In terms of the whole group, but then like over time people move on in their lives. They want to go off VR chat or want to go into other stuff or whatever. But I think it's still important to have those memories in terms of having like long-term friend groups.
All right, this is called a Taz beer, a slightly weaker beer than like a tankard. Cheers. And it's do what makes you happy and seek happiness from within. You'll never suffer a day in your life. Would you like one more to put you in the alleyway?
This one's pretty strong.
This one is the strongest we can make.
Yeah. It's pretty medicine.
Kindness is contagious. When you are kind, you inspire others. Be the spark. Spreading kindness merchandise available now.